Final hadith. وعن عبد الله بن عمرو قال خرج رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وفي يديه كتابان فقال أتدرون ما هذان الكتابان قلنا لا يا رسول الله إلا أن تخبرنا فقال للذي في يده اليمنى هذا كتاب من رب العالمين في أسماء أهل الجنة وأسماء آبائهم وقبائلهم ثم أجمل على آخرهم فلا يزاد فيهم ولا ينقص منهم أبدا ثم قال الذي في شماله هذا كتاب من رب العالمين في أسماء أهل النار وأسماء آبائهم وقبائلهم ثم أجمل على آخرهم فلا يزاد فيهم ولا ينقص منهم أبدا فقال أصحابه ففيما الأمر يا رسول الله إن كان أمر قد فرغ منه فقال سددوا وقاربوا فإن أصحاب الجنة يختم له بعمل أهل الجنة وإن عمل أي عمل وإن أصحاب النار يختم له بعمل أهل النار وإن عمل أي عمل يعني وإن عمل before as well ثم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بيديه فنبذهما قال فلق ربكم من العباد فريق في الجنة وفريق في السعير رواه الترمذي. Last hadith. As Abdullah ibn Amr has narrated that Messenger of Allah, he left like his room and in his hands were two books. Now whether these were really two books in his hands or he was gesturing towards holding two books in his hands, two registers, two books. And he said, do you know what these two books are? Do you know what these books mean? We replied, no, O Messenger of Allah, except unless you tell us. And the Prophet replied, that person, لِلَّذِي فِي يَدِهِ الْيُمْنَى, that person in whose right hand is this book from the Lord of the worlds, within it are the names of all the people of heaven, and their fathers' names and their tribes' name. Then this has been now totted up and the number has been worked out. And it will not be increased and neither will it be increased. So some people who will be lucky enough to get the books in the right hand, they're the people who are going to go to heaven, and these books have the full details of whoever you are, your name, your first name, your surname, your family name, your father's name, your forefather's name. And whatever number of people are going to go to heaven, it's been worked out. That number will not increase and will not decrease. And then he said the same thing about the other book. Then the Sahaba said, look, then, what's the point of action? If Allah Ta'ala, if the matter is complete, and if Allah Ta'ala is finished with this matter, then what's the point in us doing any good? Now at this point, the Prophet could have said, yeah, you're right. There is no point in doing good. If we're either going to go to heaven or we're going to go to hell. Forget it. But the Prophet didn't say that at all. Instead he said, Saddidu wa qaribu. He said, be strong in your actions. Be firm in your actions. Wa qaribu. And try to attain closeness and proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So look, if there was no benefit in action, if inaction was the way forward, if there's no point in us doing anything good and just saying, what's the point, man? I'm going to either go to heaven or I'm going to go to hell. I'm not reading namaz, and they don't want me to read namaz. I'm not going to do anything. If that was the answer, then the Nabi would have said, yeah, you're right. But instead, the Nabi said, Saddidu wa qaribu. No. Be firm in your good deeds. Keep doing your good deeds. Keep reading your salah. Do it properly. And try to attain closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be good in what you do. So this goes to show actually that no, good deeds are extremely important. Yeah? And I've said this on many occasions. Allah knows how it works. But taqdeer and tadbir, taqdeer from Allah Ta'ala, fate, and tadbir, whatever actions we do, they work together. So we mustn't become faithless and there's no point doing anything good. No. Keep at it. Keep doing good. Because the people of heaven, يُخْتَمُ لَهُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ, they will die on the actions of heaven despite whatever actions they used to do. And the people of hell will die on the actions of hell despite whatever actions they used to do. So, what the Prophet is saying is this, look, sometimes it's possible that some guy will spend a whole life on one particular path. But just before the end, or Allah knows how long, before 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, Allah knows best, right? There'll be a change in his life. And you might be unfortunately a terrible person. You might not need a single namaz in your life. You might not go to Hajj, you might not go to Umrah, you might not pray zakat, you might not touch the Quran ever. But Allah Ta'ala chooses, He'll give a person hidayah. And that person, before he dies, he will die as a reformed and a rehabilitated person. And he will die doing good actions. And obviously the opposite is also the case. And this goes to show, right, the importance of Khatima bil Khair. Yeah? And this is why we should be praying, Allah Ta'ala, give us a good ending. We should always be praying, Allah Ta'ala, give us a good ending. Give us an ending on Iman, in a state where you are happy with us, you're pleased with us, in a state of ibadah. Because imagine a person, someone we know, whatever, right? He dies. On the face of it, it seems to be inappropriate way to die. You might think, oh, that guy was unfortunate, he was watching TV, man. Or, astaghfirullah, that kid, that guy was taking alcohol, he looked at the pub or whatever, astaghfirullah, you do. Despite this, we shouldn't sort of reach conclusions on what seems to be something negative, because Allah knows best. Yeah, it could be the case that it might seem negative, but really there was some sort of a good act taking place. Allah knows best. Maybe some guy walked into a pub to call his friend out of there, to call his brother out of there, and he walks out and people think, oh, he's drinking. Allah knows best. Yeah, so we shouldn't necessarily add two and two together and start reaching conclusions. But one thing for certain, if someone inshallah has a good death, some guy, we hear all the time how some mu'adhin, he dies in sajda, mashallah, someone passes away on Hajj, mashallah, someone passes away in Medina, subhanallah, someone passes away in the Quran, wudu, whatever. We should definitely take a good sign from that. But Allah Ta'ala, as the Prophet says here, a person who's a sahib al-jannah, someone who's going to go to heaven, he will have an ending which is in accordance to the actions of those people who go to heaven. So if you hear of someone who's got a good death, subhanallah, you should be happy with that. And that guy, inshallah, hopefully is going to go to heaven, inshallah. And because he's had a good death, khatima bil khair. So this is the importance of all of us having an appropriate death. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us all the ability to have khatima bil khair. We should be reading رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنكَ رَحْمَةً إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْوَهَّابُ. Allah Ta'ala, after giving us iman, don't take our hearts away from the right path. Keep us on the right path. Istiqamat al-deen. Keep us firm on our iman, firm on our deen. Then the Nabi he put these books to the side. So he didn't just throw them to the side of as a form of disrespect, but he's showing that, look, these books, whatever happens will happen. It's been decided. But certainly the muqaribu do continue to do good. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to learn from this hadith. As I always say, merely through attaining knowledge, through listening and learning, this isn't everything. Now the next thing we got to do is in our own time, inshallah, we got to try to use this knowledge to act upon what we hear, to inspire us towards action. Ilm should lead to amal. So ilm needs to lead to amal. And it has to be ikhlas and sincerity. Wa alhamdulillah bil alamin. Fi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.